Patrick Stewart has confirmed that he will be revisiting his role as Jean-Luc Picard from Star Trek: The Next Generation after nearly 20 years. In a heartfelt announcement, the actor said, "I have spent a lot of time recently watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, including episodes I've never seen before, which was fun and exciting. And gradually it became clearer and clearer to me that the power of that show, the success of that show, the benefits it gave. I have never ever grown tired of hearing from people who stop me in the street or in a restaurant, who say to me, 'Your show changed my life.' And that lies at the very center of what I have to tell you now. Jean-Luc Picard is back. Without Star Trek: The Next Generation, I might not be here." How will Jean-Luc Picard return to Star Trek? The Next Generation wrapped up in 1993 after 7 seasons on TV, followed by a series of films before a final big-screen outing in the form of Star Trek: Nemesis in 2002. The final episode of the TV show saw Picard leaping through time as he demonstrated to the godlike, omnipotent being Q the potential of the human race. As the Starfleet captain traveled through different eras, he landed in one period set around 20 years in the future, with Picard living a quiet life compared to his days in space and tending to his vineyard in France. Since the announcement was made, fans across the world have been theorizing about how Picard will be making his big comeback, with the series being helmed by Star Trek Discovery producer A.L. Kurtzman. The show is in the early stages of development but will be set 20 years after the events of The Next Generation, which means there's a wealth of rich material to be explored. UC spoke exclusively to Star Trek fan and the host of the Trekmate podcast, Wayne Emery, about what Picard's return could look like. Co-Star Trek Jean-Luc Picard series release date, cast, trailer, plot express. Emery said that actual facts were loose on the ground. However, fans had a long wish list of what they'd like to see in the forthcoming series. He explained that as Enterprise and Discovery are set before the original series, there's scope to cover events after The Next Generation, Voyager and Deep Space Nine that haven't been explored yet. So fans want to see what happens after the Dominion War, they want to see what happens after Voyager got home, they want to see what happens after the latest conflicts with the Borg in First Contact. And having a show within this timeline, there's a lot of ways they could go with the show, Emery said. He continued, "At the moment, as far as fan theories go, it's more of a wish list than actual hard theories on where the show could go. But the show is going to be set in a similar time period on where the Picard series could start," Emery said. "We wonder if Picard will still be at his vineyard in France picking grapes and then be brought back into the fold for one last mission, or what exactly is going to be going on." How to watch Star Trek: The Next Generation online. What does Jean-Luc Picard's return to Star Trek mean? Emery said that the entire Star Trek community was ecstatic that Picard was returning to the sci-fi series, regardless of whether they were a fan of the TV shows or films from the past or the present. It's one of the biggest announcements because not only is CBS confident that Star Trek deserves a second series, even though Discovery is already doing really well for them on Netflix, but to have a second series and to be bringing Patrick Stewart back in means that it's like going in for a match and bringing on your star player, the podcaster enthused. He continued, "There is no way this show can fail because the level of acting that Patrick Stewart can do in the show that Alex Kurtzman can produce, it just means it's ticked everybody box." Star Trek Discovery Season 2 Netflix release date, cast, trailer, plot. Emery added, "Captain Picard is a synonymous character with Star Trek. When you think of Star Trek, 100% of fans will put him in their top 5 characters. It doesn't matter if you were a fan of the original Trek or whether you were a fan of the subsequent shows, everyone has this huge love for The Next Generation and Jean-Luc Picard in particular because he is somebody that exemplifies everything we love about the franchise. His character was always one that was stood up for and defended all of the Starfleet ideals, which is a big thing within the show, the things that humanity strives for: equality, diversity, standing up for what's right. Captain Picard was that figurehead for the show, and Patrick Stewart an amazing actor, and there's a huge love that I personally and many Trek fans carry to this day." The Star Trek Jean-Luc Picard series is in pre-production. For more information about the Trekmate podcast, visit www.trekmate.org.uk.